With regard to Paedo Communion, do me a favor and just consider with me how wild it is that even people that are against it will concede, sure, children ate at some of the Old Covenant feasts. We'll pick and choose which ones, right? Maybe Passover, maybe not. Warfield says they ate at Passover, but we know better, okay? But maybe they ate at the Feast of Weeks, where the command is very clear. You will eat it with your sons and daughters. You will rejoice before me. So they ate at some of them, okay? But that's assuming that there's continuity between the Old and the New Covenant, and we can't be hasty about that. So let's take that for a second and set it off to the side. There's a soft concession about child participation in covenant meals in the Old Covenant. Okay, now let's jump ahead. Let's go to the marriage supper of the Lamb. And on that day, when all of the church is raised to their immortal bodies, including our children, will Christ tell them that they can't eat with him on the ultimate day of celebration, the party to end all parties, okay? I would say that if they're being honest, they would also have to concede that adults and children who put on their immortal bodies are welcomed to the feast of the Lamb when Christ returns, okay? So then we get stuck if we are contra Paedo Communion, because you have God eating with his children in the Old Covenant, you have God in Christ eating with his children in the eschatology, in the eschaton, right, when he returns. But for some reason here, in the middle, between the old and the finished, they get kicked out of table fellowship with God because of a hasty generalization, an inference from a warning that Paul is giving to the adults who are not a part of the approved category that he sets up, who are abusing the fellowship, the outward fellowship, by despising the church of God, by not letting anything remain for the saints that have nothing. So in this age, they're kicked out, but then they're returned at the end. Seems like a giant contradiction, a giant inconsistency. And if you think so, you're right. Because children participating in the feast, that was never abrogated. That was never ended. And I would actually make the argument that it's assumed and included. Specifically, if you read beyond 1 Corinthians 11 to chapters 10 and 12, and see the book-ending language there that Paul uses about all. Go do it.